Hey guys, so I'm back again. Um, Back in the political stuff. I thought we're clear of COVID and the whole vaccination thing went through. It's interesting. I was watching something on Fox News, and one of their pundits was saying that the CDC don't know what they're doing. They're telling us to do one thing 1 minute, no mask needed. If you're vaccinated now, whether you're vaccinated or not, you're gonna have to go back to wear a mask when inside. And it kept going on how the CDC don't know what they're doing under the Biden administration, and they're a bunch of evil Democrats basically that just want to control us and tell us what to do, and they have no idea what they're doing. I thought about that, and the person was very passionate, and of course, the millions of people that watch Fox News are gonna go back and regurgitate this today at the water coolers or wherever they hang out, and say, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask," because they don't know what they're doing. Now, as someone that studied science in school, no genius. I did a couple videos back. I was talking about humans, how unpredictable we are. The CDC know what coronavirus is. It knows what it's gonna do to you if you get it and you get sick. It knows the probabilities of you dying or surviving it or living long term with some sort of ailment from coronavirus as a direct result of it. So they know all about coronavirus. They know all about the variations and how it could mutate and what it could become if we don't nip it in the bud right away. So they know what they're doing, right? What the CDC don't understand is you guys, right? Right? The Center for Disease Control, they understand a virus more than they understand the idiocy of people, right? You have a virus, right? You vaccinate it. You kind of stamp it down a bit so it dies out, right? Don't give it a chance to evolve and and mutate into something more deadly and more dangerous, right? Because you people aren't wearing your mask, a lot of people don't want to get vaccinated. Still an issue for most Americans. In fact, I think everyone that believes in the vaccine have gotten it already. But there's a whole segment of Americans. I'm not talking about even the world. I know France, they have idiots over there protesting vaccinations, other parts of the planet. I'm only looking at America. Don't want to get the vaccine. Don't want to wear a mask. Some of you might even think this is a hoax to some degree, or you don't believe it, right? And you think people are trying to control you or put microchips in you by taking a vaccine. But now we're back to square one, where my daughter's going to go back to school in September, and we're hoping that because we all took vaccines in New York, she'll be good for going back to school without having to wear a mask and doing the whole COVID protocol. Yes, it is taxing. Yes, no one wants to do it. Yes, the people that are instilling the rules for their businesses, their institutions, that you have to wear a mask, you have to get vaccinated, you have to do this, you have to do that, they don't want to do it, right? No one's getting rich from telling people what to do, right? No one's making millions of dollars from this. No one's improving their quality of life by telling other people what to do, right? Having coronavirus in society means that we have to live with these restrictions until it's done, right? Denying it isn't going to get rid of it. Not wearing a mask when you should isn't going to get rid of it. Not getting vaccinated when you should get vaccinated isn't going to get coronavirus is not going to go away because of your feelings or your political affiliations, right? Or what you watch on Fox News, right? All those Fox News people, I'm sure if you Google them, they all got vaccinated, right? Tucker Carlson got vaccinated. All those hosts got vaccinated, right? And I know when they go back to their buildings, their apartment buildings, they get in an elevator with other people to go up to their penthouse apartments, they wear a mask, right? All right? The private school that their kids go to, they wear a mask at those schools, right? So don't come and tell me you heard something on Fox News, right? Because they're all vaccinated and they're all doing the COVID protocols in their luggage, in their lives, when they go home to their luxurious apartments and homes, right? They all follow COVID protocols, right? So it looks like we're just going back to square one because of 25%, 30%, I don't know, 40% of the country don't believe in science, right? But they all eat hot dogs and they're probably watching me right now on their cell phones on YouTube, right? They don't believe in science, but I could eat a hot dog. I don't know what's in a hot dog, right? There's tons of worse shit in a hot dog or American hamburger than it is in a vaccine, right? And a lot of you idiots that don't want to get vaccinated wouldn't be here. And that's a fact, right? I probably won't be here if my grandparents or my great-grandparents or your great-grandparents didn't get vaccinated for some shit that was killing millions of people, right? Like polio and measles and all that shit from last century, right? My grandparents got vaccinated. That's why I'm here, right? If my granddad was like, oh, I don't want to take the vaccine because, you know, President Nixon said I shouldn't have to take it, or, you know, I won't be here, right? So it's just funny how, I don't know if it's a way humanity sort of shrinks itself because we overpopulated the planet, and it's just some sort of mechanism the planet puts into place where a certain amount of people are born with just this self-centered stupidity where they trust coronavirus, or they trust that a virus won't affect them as worse as taking a vaccine for a virus, right? I don't get it. I'll end on this. My kids are at a camp where I am now. My parents are fixing up their house, and I got a box of stuff for my mom, and it's stuff from when I was working at this camp when I was in college, almost 20 years ago. And I saw names, and I was like, oh, let me Google some of these people, see if they're still around. One friend of mine, I remember she wrote me a Halloween card post-camp, because camp ends in August. In Halloween, she wrote me a card saying how great it was. She worked with me, blah, blah, blah. And I vaguely remember this person, and I remembered this girl. She came to this camp, right? And we had a new director at the time, and he was like, and this is the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when woke culture was coming into play back then. And if you grew up in the 90s and 80s, you knew like summer camps, anything goes. You could walk around butt naked at camp, swimsuits all day, flip-flops. Rules came into place where you couldn't do that anymore. You had to wear a uniform. You had to not wear bike shorts or shorts above your knee, you know, whatever. Anything raunchy you couldn't wear, right? So this girl, she's working here with me, and she was like, I can't do that. It's my body. I got to do what I want to do. It's 90 degrees. I'm not wearing a big t-shirt. I need to wear a bikini all the time. And she almost got fired because of that. I remember she was a bit rebellious because of that. And we all laughed at her at the time. But she was good peoples. So today I found her, last weekend I found her on Facebook. And, you know, I saw the profile picture. She has a couple of kids now. Clicked it. Hey, it's me from camp. You know, saw your name, looked you up. Instantly she friended me back, and we started chatting. And I go through her profile stuff. Big Donald Trump supporter, big Republican. And she's one of these neo-Republicans, right? She wasn't a Republican back in the days, but now she is. Italian, she's Italian, and I think she lives in Pennsylvania now, but she grew up in New York. Big Republican. And then I saw she's a vaccine denier. She doesn't wear a mask. She's all these things that I talk against about on my channel, right? And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, it made sense to me, right? Because 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago, she was the same person, but just in New York at a summer camp, and she did not want to follow the rules. And now she's a grown woman with two sons, and she's not following the rules of society. And it kind of clicked, and I said, that's where these people come from, right? We've been around them all our lives, right? And it made sense to me. I said, these are real people. These vaccine deniers are real people. They're from our childhood, from your childhood. They're just always there, but we never listened to them. We laughed at them, right? They're funny to us as kids growing up with them. But now they're adults with kids, and they have responsibility, and they don't give a shit. So it's just funny to full circle. I know I talk a lot about it, and it's perplexing to me most of the times when I look at these things and I say, how could people not want to take a vaccine, or how could people not want to protect themselves and protect other people? It makes sense to me now.